Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar called Creating a Seamless Purchase and Delivery Experience in Time for the Holidays. I'm Debbie House, Executive Director of Content for Retail Touchpoints, and I'll be moderating today's presentation. We're honored to be joined today by Greg Chifa, Head of U.S. Sales for Locate, who will share insights into how to help retailers create a seamless checkout experience in time for the holidays. This webinar event is part of the Retail Touchpoints 2019 Retail Strategy and Planning Series. During the series, attendees have the opportunity to hear from leading industry experts who are discussing the most important topics on retailers' minds today. By registering for one session, attendees have access to all complimentary presentations, both live and on demand. This series is presented by Retail Touchpoints. On this slide, you can find out how to reach us at our retailtouchpoints.com website, on Twitter, and also on LinkedIn. For those of you who might be new to Retail Touchpoints, here's a quick overview. We're an all-digital media company publishing e-newsletters twice each week that go out to our more than 50,000 retail executive subscribers. We cover the industry via daily news features and special reports, exclusive industry surveys, and multimedia presentations. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our newsletters at retailtouchpoints.com. We also want to let you know how to sign up for updates on the 2020 Retail Innovation Conference. We'll be making announcements about the event, including date, location, and speakers very soon. You can find out more at retailinnovationconference.com. We hope to see you there. Also, by participating in this Retail Strategy and Planning Series, you'll have the opportunity to win a $10 Starbucks gift card each day and free passes to the 2020 Retail Innovation Conference. Good luck. For today's presentation, we're using the ON24 platform. Right now, you should be viewing the ON24 dashboard, which shows the live viewing screen. By clicking on the Questions widget on the right-hand side of the screen, you can type in questions during the presentation and press Submit. You'll also find a widget named Resources under Questions. There you can download assets our presenters have provided. All you have to do is click on the resource and it will automatically download. We also invite you to share comments on Twitter during the session using the hashtag RSP19. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the live feed. If you're not able to attend one or more of the sessions, they will be available free to all registrants. You can access them on demand at your convenience. To learn more, go to the retailtouchpoints.com website. Before I introduce today's speaker, I want to remind the audience that the presentation is slated for approximately 30 minutes with time for live questions at the end. Once again, we invite you to submit questions in the ON24 questions area as they come to mind. Our presenter has agreed to stay online following the presentation to respond to your questions. The webinar is being recorded, and all attendees will receive an archive link to the presentation to go back and review or share with colleagues. So today we're joined by Greg Chifa, who leads U.S. sales for GBG Locate. Locate takes an extremely consultative approach to selling, which requires a deep understanding of address verification, online checkout experience, fulfillment efforts, and much more. Greg got his start at American Express helping to build and launch some of their most innovative and successful programs. From there, he made his way into the technology startup world, where he built and led high-performing sales and customer success teams at companies including Cartera, Ebates, and RetailMeNot. With that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Greg. Welcome to you, Greg.
Thank you so much, Debbie, and excited to talk to you about something that I know is near and dear to everyone's heart, the holidays. Specifically for us in the tech world and the e-commerce world, how to provide a seamless checkout experience for our customers. So here at Locate, as Debbie mentioned in the intro, we take a very consultative approach to selling and to the consumer experience, focusing on both the front end and the back end of the experience to make sure that checkout is smooth and seamless, but then also improving the delivery and checkout process. Today I'm going to walk you through how some simple small changes can greatly impact conversion rate, some tips to optimize the online checkout process, not just on the desktop, but specifically on the mobile device, as we, of course, are all seeing a dramatic shift and change in behavior there. And then, of course, on the back end, ways to really drive down your failed delivery rates and also provide your CRM with clean, verified customer data. Before we jump in, just of course, some fun facts on the holiday and the massive growth that we're seeing around e-commerce. So e-commerce sales last year represented almost 17% of the total sales in the holiday period. That is around $38.8 billion on smartphones specifically, which is 34% over the previous year, and we're looking to grow at around the same rate in 2019. So mobile shopping is here, and it's here to stay, and we're going to help you be prepared for that. Also, cart abandonment rate continues to be an issue at 70%, almost 70%. And that's something that Locate and our solutions can greatly help with. So when thinking about the consumer experience and the overall user experience, of course, convenience is key. The checkout is a huge part of the customer experience and can often be a deciding factor as to whether visitors make a purchase or not. For online shopping, filling out their shipping and billing address is the most dreaded part of the process. But retailers can turn this pain point into a selling point. Some simple ways to do this is leveraging address verification technology. It can greatly reduce the address entry time by up to 78%. The cart abandonment rate currently at 69%, almost 70% according to eMarketer. When asked why these customers are abandoning, shoppers are saying that the process is too long, it's too complicated, and there are too many fields. And that's only exacerbated when you think about the mobile process. Too many steps can greatly frustrate the consumer, and by leveraging an address verification or type-ahead technology and actually having this information auto-filled has shown to great increases in overall conversion rate for our customers. Here's an example of one of our customers, ASOS. To support a single line implementation, ASOS provides relevant instructions and contextual messaging to intuitively guide users throughout the checkout process. An example here is a very small line in there that says, keep typing your address to display more results. This greatly reduces the amount of keystrokes or, on a mobile device, the amount of touches that they would need to make in order for a checkout to be completed. So get to know your user. I know all of us out there are really always trying to leverage focus groups and feedback to get in the mindset of their consumers. And here's some feedback that we've had from our clients. If you want customers to stay the course and reach the golden thank you page, it's a good idea to show them a clear path to the finish line. If they know how much will be required to complete the purchase, and you can show progression, it will make checking out a lot less daunting. Progress bars are a great way to give customers a view of how far is left to go and show them that the completed process is only steps away. Two of our great clients, Reese and Gymshark, are shown above. Optimizing your forms. So the checkout form, the address capture form, the billing form, all vital parts of the mobile experience. We're all vying for a better mobile experience. A new study from Episerver says that mobile is the main device from which consumers access the web, with roughly 59% of online sessions coming from a smartphone or a tablet this holiday season. Leveraging an address lookup technology like ours on the mobile device, as we mentioned before, greatly reduces keystrokes by up to 70%. When shoppers tested type-ahead address technology on the mobile device, they said to us in general that entering the address information can be tedious and people make mistakes in general typing, even more so on a mobile device. They like that it populates the address so quickly, saves time, but also verifies that no mistakes were made before you move forward in your checkout process. Our client Reese has a great example of a seamless mobile checkout experience. As we showed before with their desktop experience, they clearly show where the shopper is in the checkout process. Then they leverage a type ahead technology to greatly reduce keystrokes in the process and assure that a verified address is entered before moving forward. On the back end, equally as important in the customer experience is assuring that they've received their product and that your data is clean and verified within your database. We have been able to greatly increase our customers' delivery success rate by massively reduce the costs associated with missed deliveries. If a business fails to capture accurate address data in the checkout, the chance of an item reaching the correct recipient is greatly reduced. And this leads to a very frustrating customer experience, also a ton of work on the retailer side. Our clients use address verification to capture and maintain perfect customer data, improve these operational inefficiencies for good. It also allows for a universal format to be captured and added to your database of records that is complete to USPS standards. So some key takeaways from the presentation. Do what works for your customer. Basically, showing them that progress bar and identifying what's important to them will help drive them through the customer experience and specifically the checkout experience without a hiccup. Mobile is here to stay, so prioritize mobile and m-commerce and make it as simple as possible for not just shopping, but for the checkout process. Everything should be clear and readable, and formats should be adjustable based on device. Start testing well in advance of the holiday season. Our top clients have been testing this stuff for a few months now and will be ready to go with their best practices much further before the code freeze and holiday season. Lastly, assure that addresses are verified against an up-to-date database like the USPS here in the United States to ensure that delivery success rates are optimized. So thank you everyone for joining today. Really appreciate your time and listening to our views and suggestions on the holiday and specifically the checkout process. Thank you, Debbie, for having us. Please, when you get a chance, download the presentation. You'll find some great case studies in here from our clients like ASOS, Ralph Lauren, Hugo Boss, and some others. And then, of course, reach out to us if you ever need anything or have additional interest.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. And yeah, I'll just remind everyone that there were some case studies to look at after Greg's presentation and before our Q&A. So when you're looking at the on-demand version, you can take a closer look at those case studies. Thanks so much, Greg, for sharing a lot of great information and also sharing those case studies, because everyone always likes to see what other retailers are doing. So that's terrific. All right,
Totally.
So we're going to begin. Yep, thanks, Greg. So right now we can begin our Q&A session with Greg. I have some questions that have come in, and in addition to that, I'll just remind attendees, if you have a question, please type it in. If we're not able to get to it, Greg can follow up with you afterwards. So I'll just get started with the questions. Okay, the first question, Greg, is after implementing address verification software, how much of a reduction in failed deliveries do your customers usually see?
That's a great question. Obviously, these things vary pretty greatly depending on the customer and the client and what processes they have in place so far. We've seen up to 70% of failed delivery rates actually decrease by leveraging our solution.
Okay, yep, that's impressive. Another question that came in, you mentioned earlier that ASOS uses your software internationally. How many countries are you able to reach?
So currently, Locate provides address data that spans across 245 countries and territories, so it's not just the U.S. We are definitely the #1 global solution out there, so happy to provide a lot more information on that. And if there are specific countries that are of concern, we can speak to those directly.
All right, terrific. Thank you. Another question. Where do you get your data from, and how often is it updated?
Yes, good question. So we get our data from lots of different places. When looking for an address verification provider, it's really important to know how much data is updated and refreshed and on what basis. So great questions. We update our database daily and only use address data from reputable sources like the United States Postal Service here in the U.S., Canada Post in Canada, Royal Mail over in the UK. So we're leveraging all of those data sets and updating them daily so that our customers always have the best data sets to match against.
All right, terrific. Good to know. Okay, and one other question that has come in, probably on the mind of a lot of people listening in. The question is, how is your service different than Google?
Yes, that is always a question. So firstly, I think Locate's type ahead capture solution is far ahead of Google's API, largely down to Locate's superior data quality that I mentioned when answering the previous question. There are very few, if any, other providers out there today that leverage the amount of data sets that we leverage through relationships that have been built from over 20 years in the address verification space. So you'll notice Google does not return any apartment level data if you ever do look at a side-by-side test, which is really important when you think about not just the UX, but ultimately solving for failed deliveries in cities like here in New York.
Okay, yep, that makes a lot of sense. All right, and so I think that we're going to wrap up, and I just want to remind everyone, again, if you have a question that you didn't receive an answer to, Greg can follow up with you afterwards, and also, once you get a chance to look at the on-demand version and take a look at those case studies, if you have any follow-up questions, you can reach out to Greg at that time as well. So I think that we're going to wrap up. We just want to let you know that you can register for more sessions in the Retail Strategy and Planning Series through September 20th, which is tomorrow. And we invite you to join us for our next session, which is titled 5 Ways to Use Data and Insights to Adapt to New Retail Realities, and that is noon Eastern Time tomorrow on September 20th. So until then, once again, I want to thank Greg for all of his insights and the case studies, and I want to thanks to all of you for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Great. Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks, Greg.